Hey guys, V-Man from No Budget Productions, and with me today is Joe Sapita. How are we doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, Vance. I'm glad you asked.
Well, the reason we've come together today is, actually, we've had a painter that has decided to paint his passions, and he came to me. Oh hell, I think it was what was it? Maybe 2 months ago or a couple of months ago, and he wanted to paint his passions, and he said one of the things that had gotten him through COVID was fan films, and he had said that you know he wanted to paint the Starfleet captains, and he asked if he could paint me. I was like, oh, sure, absolutely. And he was like, awesome, cool, yeah, I'm kind of hoping to get a bunch of of the fan film captains, because that's what's gotten me through COVID. And I was like, dude, awesome. you know, uh, you know, you want me to reach out to some of my friends? He said, would you mind? So I was like, absolutely. One of the people that I reached out to was Joe. So you, my friend, are one of six fan film captains who's gotten to be painted. Now, obviously, people like Patrick Stewart, William Shatner have gotten painted, but for people like us, fan film, creators, that just doesn't happen. So to me personally, this is kind of one of those like once in a lifetime opportunities. Now people throw that word around, that phrase around, like it's going out of style. But to me, this is kind of one of those. It really kind of is. Nobody really paints us, you know,
Right.
not unless it's like one of those French girls. Um, so with that being said, I told Richard Roberto, which is the painter's name. I said, let's really make this into kind of a thing. Make the reveal online here. So that being said, here's the painting, Joe.
Okay. Oh, I'm taking a look at it. Interesting. Yeah. Very interesting indeed. It's is this like oils or whatever or
I'm not sure. Now he did do. He has a speed run video of what exactly he did. And you will be receiving the painting because it takes about, I think, 3 months for
okay.
it to like cure, or I'm sure I'm using the wrong phrasing because I'm not sure on painting stuff, but it takes to like set, and then you'll receive the painting to put up in like your den or house or whatever, um wherever you choose to put it. So you'll like, I'll send you after the show, I'll send it to you so you can put it on your Facebook or whatever, and then you'll receive the actual painting itself. But we I'm not exactly sure um what exactly was used. I think it is oils and stuff, but
Yeah.
I can't speak to that point. I can put you in contact with him, but
Yeah,
he
I'm
might.
curious the medium that he used, whether it because it looks like it could be oils, but then it could be, I was wondering if he used what do you call it, the color pencils, or watercolor, even water.
Well, like I know he uses some type. I know he uses some types of paints, but there's so many different types of paints. It's just like, for me, I know, like, I use charcoal when I draw, but I also use fine tipped pencils, and like there's several different types of charcoals and stuff to use. So I couldn't tell you exactly what he
Well,
used.
would be interesting to see. I'm kind of curious. I've taken a lot of art classes myself, and I have people that are art, what do you call it, artists and stuff. So I was just curious what they use there. But my impressions is, first, I'm never on honored that the guy even did it. I've never had a painting in my life. I don't know
Oh,
about ants, but I've never had anybody do a painting of me, much less. But It's interesting. No, it's when I see that, it's interesting. I like the way he did it. It's light on one side and dark on the other side.
Yeah, yeah,
Definitely thematic. Like two sides, two reflections of people. The
yeah,
lighter side and more the dark side, right? Like almost like mirror, mirror, right? You can see
yeah.
the positive Ramses, or maybe the mirror, mirror Ramses on the other side.
Right. It definitely gives it a dramatic theme. Richard is actually in the chat right now, and he
Oh,
says
okay.
oil. He says oil, yes. So
Oh,
he did.
okay.
He did use oil, yes.
So when I see this, I'm trying to picture in my mind, how big is it? Is this like 11 by 12 or something? I mean, how big of the meat is the actual painting itself?
It's a pretty good size, and you'll
Wow.
actually see it because we have the rundown video.
Oh,
It's
no.
a pretty big
Oh,
big size.
yeah, yeah, because I've seen artists use different size, what do you call it, canvases to work on,
Yeah.
to it all out, like comic books, right? I didn't realize, when you read your comic books, that how big the pages really are, when
Yeah.
this down and make it, and then when you see it in the comic book, it's like reduced size, so that's
Yeah.
what I'm curious, with on scale, but yeah, when I keep looking at it, it's an interesting reflection, there, the, like I said, the light, the dark, the I guess one thing I wanted to ask him is, when he did this assignment, it was this impressionist? Is that what the he was going for, or whatever? Or I know it's not abstract, obviously, like the Picasso's. So, but maybe impressionist type thing. I mean, I certainly would like to get inside his head and see what he was thinking when he did the painting. He's thinking the style. When he picks up that paintbrush, and he puts brush to paint. And think, because every artist has their spin.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
reflect.
he said the size of it is 12 by 16.
Whoa. Okay.
So that gives us the size.
Yeah.
And William Wells says it's really awesome. Seems like everybody in the chat seems to love it. And Richard, if you're if you're available, Richard, we do have the link open. I can send that to you real quick, Richard. But we do have the video, and I can do the speed run video for that real quick.
I'll be see it to see his works, his labor of love as he crafts it out, and
Yeah.
man, from imagination and everything, when he looks at it, and then puts this interpretation of the Ramses, on canvas, so that'll be good. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. Yep.
Right on. Well, let's get to that. We'll watch that, and like I said, all of his videos of him, painting from start to finish. It's really interesting. So, but with that being said, let's get to it. We'll watch it, and everybody at home, you won't be able to hear me or Joe speak while the video's playing, but after that, we'll resume our thoughts after the video, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. Here it is. So we'll start right now.
Okay.
Welcome to my channel. This is another time-lapse video, a la prima portrait of a Star Trek fan fiction film captain. This is Joe Cepeda, who plays Captain Ramses in an outrageously fun series about Star Trek meeting the Planet of the Apes. I highly recommend it if you get a chance to check it out on YouTube. I'll have a link in the description of this video. And if you notice, there's a very intense blue background here that really influences a lot of the color that I'm seeing in the flesh tones for Joe. And I think the color of the shirt does something very similar, but it's going to have a different effect. So we have the blue from the background really influencing the shadow colors because it's reflecting light into those shadows. And we have direct light coming on, which seems a much warmer light. We also have some warmth reflecting up from the shirt, affecting some of the shadow colors underneath the chin, and maybe a little bit off on the one side of the face. So when we see things in shadow, it's only because they're illuminated somehow. There's a lot of, I think, sort of art lore around what happens with color temperature as we go from light to shadow. And there's no mystical thing that happens. As you see me here, I'm laying in right now what looks like a sort of two-tone monochrome, almost like a no-tan. And I'll make shifts in color temperature as I kind of paint, but what's reflected in the shadow is just a light source. Just as the direct light illuminates the lit side, light has to be illuminating what's in shadow, or we'd see nothing. It would be darker than the darkest black paint we can mix. But because we see things in shadow, light's reflected in from somewhere. The quality of that light that's reflected in will influence what the temperature of the shadow is. It's no sort of mystical transformation. And in this case, we obviously have the blue influencing what's reflected in that shadow. And you see right here, I'm correcting my drawing. The drawing was off. It's wet paint. It's easy to fix. Thanks for that. And we have some of the yellow-orange coming up from the shirt. That's reflecting warmth into the shadow under the chin. That's just the quality of light. Making these refinements after I had that sort of, monochromatic, no-tan style, very big shape simplified into the simplest statement I could make for Joe's face, adding different patches of more intense color, playing with values to sort of model the form a little more, make some last minute adjustments to the drawing around the eyes and nose, and finally arrive at what I think is a final representation of Joe. And you'll see the contrast in the photograph is not fully reflected in the painting, but I still think I got the likeness down. This is the final painting. I hope Joe likes it. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel and set your notifications. I can be found on the web at robertosuzuki.art, on Instagram at roberto_suzuki_art, and on Facebook at afb.com/robertosuzukiart. Thank you.
And to those live in the chat right now, after the show, I will have in the description, I'll have a link to his Instagram, which will be for this painting, and all the information. Give me about 5 minutes after the show, and I'll have all that information in the description. To those watching on the rewind, just go to the description. It'll be right there instantly. So yeah, go support Robert. Go support Richard. All those links and everything. It's really important. To support these. The artists and everything that we. Hold on, just 1 second. Yeah. Sorry. So I got a link that popped up. I was like, wait, what? I got confused. It's really important to support the people that support us. When Richard reached out, it was one of those things where it's like nobody paints us. Nobody does anything like this. Joe, what was your thoughts watching that video?
My thoughts is that he basically is a very talented individual. Certainly one that appreciates his craftsmanship and his I would say his palette of diversity. And I think that there's a rich palette of diversity in his skills and what I saw in his painting. I think it's important when you see the highlights, but he talked about contrast and light and dark. And I think that's good because it even I can really identify with this as a filmmaker because when you see Hollywood trying to capture a person in turmoil and the light features and the dark features and kind of show it in all its glory, like with one light as opposed to one light on each side. They said when you see that light and dark, not only do you know that he's in turmoil, he's torn, but you see that the word that he uses, contrast. Very, very important. And in our films that we can, like in his painting, it's good, showing a contrast, a diversity, a kind of like almost like a conflict coming together, you know. That because that's why I like to make films. I do it for the drama, the contrast, and there it is. It's right there in his painting, you know. But I think he's a very gifted guy. I mean, I don't know how long he took to make it. I mean, out of curiosity, it's just signed it took a couple of weeks, or you know, but some artists are quicker. Some artists want to take their time and paint when they're inspired, and not pick up a paintbrush and do their, you know, wow, you know, they're in cloud nine, and then they start paint, like what do you call it, Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, you know, what made those painters of great, you know, paint, you know. But
No, well, it was to me. I think because he's done you know, he's done myself. He's done Gary Davis,
yeah, I haven't.
Paul I can't pronounce his last name, but he plays Captain Lobato on Raincross. He's done you. He's done Frank Parker. You know, to do 5 captains and
Parker,
you
yeah.
know, yeah, to do 5 captains and you know, I think a 2-month time span or less than
On two
you know, it's
months.
like yeah,
Wow.
yeah. To me, it's like that's unbelievable. Let me send the StreamYard's link to Richard real quick, and give me 1 second. Technology always seems to fail me, so if I cut out real quick 1 second, and I'll be right back in. So let's see, Messenger to no. Okay, good. It didn't cut out. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. It always seems to mess up on me. Okay. There you go, Richard. I sent you the link to the StreamYard, so it should have done for you. Richard says this is alla prima, so it's done in one setting when the paint is wet. I think it took about 6 hours. Holy cow, 6 hours.
Another
Wow.
to sit there in front of a canvas and knock it out till it's finished, you know. Yeah, instead of putting it aside. And some artists never finish their work because they just move on to something else, you know. It's or they get that painter's cramp, you know, because they're very perfectionist and the thing never gets finished because they ran off to do another project, you know.
Yeah.
It takes a
Yeah.
discipline artist to finish what you start, and time. I didn't realize art is so time sensitive. I mean, you go out with a target, right? Just like films, you know, and you want to finish that thing. You want to get into the end zone and finish it because life comes in, right? And then you never finish your painting. But it's
That's
just
exactly it.
it's
That's
self. I think to sit in a room and look at a paint and look at a photo and say, okay, I'm gonna go for it. You
well, and
know,
that's the thing. Just because you have the time doesn't mean you're necessarily in the zone, and it takes a lot of things to make all that stuff happen. Hey, Richard, how are we doing, my friend? You're on mute, you're on mute.
Hi, I'm sorry. I don't know if you can hear me. I can't hear
Yep.
you guys at all for some reason. I have my volume all the way up, but it's not working out. Hang on.
wow. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can hear him now. Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear now. Yeah.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we could hear you when we took you off mute, or when you took yourself off mute. You
Yeah, but I want to ask the inspiration there. You know, where because you got to
So
have.
I can hear you through
Oh.
YouTube, but not through StreamYard.
Oh no.
well, it may have to. If you've got it on monitor, you may have to take it off. Take it off of YouTube because it's probably misallowing through the speaker. Yeah.
Wow.
It's probably only allowing you to do one thing at a time because
They're different devices, so it probably
Yeah.
I don't think that's interfering. So I have my iPad.
it's probably only allowing you to do one thing at a time because
They're different devices, so probably I don't think that's interfering. So I have my iPad. Yeah, there's definitely a delay for me. I'm gonna just stop. The problem is I can only hear you through YouTube. Let me see if I can just pause YouTube. So now I just have you. I'm up. Oh, I see myself now.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
For
Yeah.
some reason, I can't hear you guys at all.
is there a way to pull is there a way to pull us up on the computer instead of through the iPad? Is there a way? Can you pull us up on the computer instead of the iPad?
I could try to do it. The problem is I only have Facebook on my phone, so the link only came through to my phone. I could try to email it to myself and then rejoin through the iPad. That might work. Let me try that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So he's working on that, but yeah, but you got to be inspired, like I was saying, to paint
Well,
for.
Well, and it's a lot of, I mean, it's the same problem you have with like filming.
Yeah.
Like I know for me, like having the sets here, like I've had the same script since like October, and I'm not motivated to film any of the cameos I have, because it's like, you know, and it's something so simple as like, just go pop on uniform and go film it real quick.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, but it's like when you have that 5 hour, you know, the 5 hour time span on a you know, Saturday night, it's like, I just want to go lay on the couch and sleep. And it's the same thing for, you know, someone like, you know, Richard, where it's like, do you want to go paint, or do you want to do it? You know,
Yeah.
are you
Or
motivated to do it? You know,
or binge watch 6 hours of Discovery, right? Star Trek.
exactly.
You're
Do you
right.
hear us? Do you hear us, Richard?
Now I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we can.
You for a second, and now you're gone again.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. You don't hear us at all?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No.
My headset kicked out.
Now
I hear you. Thank you.
You do hear us now?
Yep. My headset was not behaving, and my wife is leaving. Okay, she's waving to me. Okay. I don't know. She's telling me something, but I don't know what. Okay.
I don't know. If you got to take off. Man.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's been such a joy watching these presentations. I'm always nervous because they haven't seen a painting before, and I'm terrified they're going to look at it and say, "What? That doesn't look like me at all." You know, and be horrified by it. But so far, that hasn't happened. It's great to meet you, Joe.
Oh, wait, you too, to meet the artist that, you know, put brush to canvas, you know, but yeah, I do like it because it's different. I think I think you're right. I think people have to realize it's not a photograph. It's an interpretation.
Yeah.
It's an interpretation, and it is art, you know.
Yeah.
Like
And I don't know what the name of the style would be. I've heard people refer to this style of painting as abstract realism, which seems to be a contradiction. So I'm not sure that's really a thing, but
yeah,
it's definitely it's a loose interpretation of a reference. And my goal is to make a likeness, but it's never gonna. I don't do photorealistic painting. So
that's just it. It's not realism per se.
Yeah.
But to coin it, but yeah, thank you. I just want to say thank you very much for doing it. On definitely very pleased with it. Yeah, it's that you took the time to do it. Well, what I'm asking is your inspiration. What inspires you to get up and do one of these Star Trek? I mean, it has to be some motivation, some mojo that you work with. You know.
Well, I was in a workshop where one of the themes of the workshop was to sort of find your own passion and your own style. Instead of learning what some other teacher teaches you to do, you want to learn what you really like to do. And I did a lot of research on things like learning and mastery. And it turns out if you really like something, you'll learn it better and faster. So painting still lifes, which is very common, how people learn to paint, or painting landscapes, doesn't excite me as much as painting portraits. And I wanted to paint something that had some connection to, rather than painting practice photos from the internet, which I do as well. So painting like real people that I may have some connection to was really much more exciting to me. And because I'm such a huge fan of Star Trek, and I love all the fan fiction stuff, most of the fan fiction stuff, I respect all of it, but some of it I think is just super well done. I'm just a big fan. So knowing, because I had worked in film before, as an audio engineer for like small independent animated films. And I know these people put a lot of time and money into it and don't get anything back. It's all for free. And I know fan fiction is the same way. I wanted to find some way to give back, and I've contributed to some of the Kickstarter things when I can, but this is something I felt like I could give something back to people who are doing what I think is really high value, passion entertainment on YouTube. So.
Well, that seems to be one of the feelings that you brought up earlier about the fear of, kind of the rejection of, it doesn't look like me. The general consensus from everybody has been, humble, honored, because just like with me, like I've always said in every show, and I always make it a point to say, nobody does this for us. Again, the big guns, they always paint Patrick Stewart, they always paint William Shatner, they always paint the Jerry Ryans, almost an abundance of her, and I don't blame them. But for us, nobody would even think to do that for us, so for this opportunity, and Joe's right, like it's not a photograph, like to sit there and say, this isn't a photograph. Like, I don't think any of us would nitpick on a painting, because it's like, one, have you seen our films?
I love your films. I apologize. I have a hard stop, and my 2:30 is early. My son just texted me.
Oh, you're fine.
So I have to hop off. Great
Sure.
to meet you, and Vance, we'll talk again, and
Absolutely.
we have more stuff coming. So thanks.
Yes.
And that's my air conditioning guy. I gotta go. Thanks.
All right, take care. Have a good day, man.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And we will have, for everybody that is curious about the paintings, he is actually going to be my first guest the first Monday in February on the Pizza Roll Diaries. So if you guys are curious about the paintings, all of them should be released by then. And I do plan to show all of the paintings back again. And like I said, all of the pictures released will be myself, Gary Davis, Paul Jacques, I believe is his last name, Frank Parker, of course Joe here, and then David Chang will be the last one. So and we'll go through all of those again for the lead up show with Richard. But yeah, so any last thoughts on the painting and everything before we kick off, Joe?
I think it's definitely a nice interpretation of the Ramses character. That's for sure. And I think when I see that, I am inspired to make better films. I said, "Whoa!" I was thinking, I was playing with that, and I was toying with it. I wouldn't be surprised that shows up in a future film. Who can say? It's kind of cool. It's but yeah, I think he hit it. Why he did it, and that's always impressive enough. A fan that finds his own little niche, like not all of us can make fan films, some of us, like be behind the scenes, like to do stuff, like to do artwork, and show their passion that way, not making films, but making artwork, and that's their fandom, right? I mean, which is great, because on Tickled Pink, when I go to a lot of conventions and stuff, and then I always go and I look at the artwork, there's always it's always like gems in the rough, right? There's always something, that puts a smile on your face, and I say, hey, all right,
Well, yeah, to me, it's really inspiring to see something like that, and to me, it makes me want to, just make an extra film, just to be like, let's put that picture in the film, just find some reason to make, some extra scene, or yeah, because to me, it's like that, it's, because it's like our films, as good or bad or whatever, like, to me, it's like they're you can tell they're passion projects, and to the audience that loves them, it's they are just as valid trek, and I think they are, because it's like they're always about the characters.
That's right.
and I think I think we've carved out, at least at this junction, we've carved out our own little corner of the Star Trek universe. But everything we put, once they say once you put it on the internet, it's always there. It's never gone. So to me, it's like once you to see, well, we've got the painting, well, let's put it on film, and then it's always there. It's kind of like Jason Spriggs. He did a drawing of Royce in a Star Trek uniform, and I said, well, let's put that on film, and then it's always there. So if the drawing ever gets destroyed, it's there. It's kind of like with these paintings. It's like, it's just so cool. Like, how can you not? To me, it's very inspiring. I'm very grateful that he took the time to do that. So Steve says in the chat, he says, I wonder how much he charges. I'd love a painting of Korath. Steve, I don't think he charges. Of course, I can't speak for him. This was his passion project for school. I can talk to him and see. Of course, I never speak on anyone's behalf. I can reach out to him and see what he thinks. Because of course he's seen the fan film, so of course he knows Korath. But again, I think it would probably just be a matter of time, and then school. So I don't think it's a matter of money. I don't think, but I don't know. I'll reach out to him and talk to him. Yeah. So with that being said, any other last thoughts before we leave, Joe? Or
yeah.
Any future projects coming up?
Wait, what's this, projects?
No, any future projects for you coming up, man?
Yeah, we're trying to fit. First, there's 2 films we're trying to finish up. The first one is A Fighting Chance, and we want to get that out before Christmas. I mean, we want to get it finished this year, so we're working with it, but we're waiting for some of our actors to get healthy.
Yeah,
you can understand we're coming there. The other one that we're starting this year, but we're not going to finish it into next year because there's just so much involved, and that's I'm excited about. It's called Scream of the Apes, and what that is in Nature's Hunger is Captain Ramses really likes the film Planet of the Apes, so he goes in the holodeck and he recreates his own adventure. All right, so this isn't your grandfather's Planet of the Apes. He goes off on a tangent. So I said, Ben, that's wild. We can do a lot with that. But like I said, we're trying to do the principal photography this year and then release next year. So that I'm really wild and excited about, because it will be nostalgic yet different. It'll be nostalgic from the sense that you'll say, yeah, that's like the original Planet of the Apes. But then when the story comes out, no, it's not really, because it's his own wild fantasy. And his comrades don't really want to go with him, but they're playing along, if you know what I mean, But it's interesting. There's a lot of twists. And if you've been watching our films you notice where I throw in a Dr. Milo scene, a Planet of the Apes scene. Mm-hmm. The scenes were put there as a proof of concept to see if we could make a Scream of the Apes. Like, hey, yeah, we can do that. Then we can embellish it and refine it that's my dream film, Scream of the Apes. So when the Fighting Chance comes out, there's going to be another ape scene, but there's going to be more drama that you didn't see in the first one. So I'm excited about that. So those 2, I would say, is what we're working with. We're glad this stuff is coming out, and we're excited to work with you, Vance, and you have a cameo role in A Fighting Chance, and we're excited about that, And
you do, and you do have Trey from Maxworld Entertainment reprising his role in your film, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah.
And you do have, and he does quite a bit for, doesn't he do quite a bit for, on his channel for you as well?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. And some new characters, and we're going to be introducing some new characters that, because the first film, I wanted to say that A Fighting Chance is the prequel to Razor's Edge. So hopefully it'll answer some of the questions of how did that happen. Mm-hmm. So we take the story backwards to show how Razor's Edge happened. And I'm not gonna give away the secrets, but you'll be surprised how it came about. Because I wonder what wrote this. How did this happen? How did Razor's Edge happen? And we wanted to make it a roller coaster of excitement, because you'll be surprised how it happened. How did we get to Razor's Edge? You know, I thought that would be an interesting story. And like I said, with you willing to do another cameo, and we have, I have to admit, this on Fighting Chance, we have more cameos than we did in Razor's Edge. So I'm excited about that. You know,
that's awesome. Well, it seems like you have like a lot of stuff coming up with this new year. I'm excited.
Yeah, so. Like you, a new year. Oh yeah, we're so excited. In fact, as you spoke now, we're building new sets. We decided to, for example, redesign our corridor because we wanted to have more fun with it. If you remember the corridor in Razor's Edge, it was kind of like pretty well you walk straight down it, right? So we said, well, you know, why don't we add some doors and have some interesting characters coming in and out of our, you know, make it fun, you know, make it functional. So we're working right now. We just tore up our corridor set, and we're redesigning it, you know. So when you see Fighting Chance and you look at the corridor, it's not the same corridor. It's functional, you know, for some fun and excitement, you know. So yeah, we want to have a blast out of this, just like you do, Vance. So it's you know, have fun, more fun out of our films, you know.
See, and that's the thing that's fun about doing these things is, you know, of course we don't have the multi-billion-dollar budget that like Discovery has and whatnot, but you know, it's connecting with friends, connecting with people that you've met over the years, and continuing the experience that you've had with them, and you know, extending the sets that you have, and doing whatnot, and just, you know, trying new things, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. Doing storylines like, you know, the Planet of the Apes, you know, because again, the one thing that threw me off was like, you're doing Wizard of the Oz, and now you're doing Planet of the Apes, and it's just like, what? Again, like, who would have thought we'd be here with Star Trek? It's just like, what? You know, like that's part of the beauty of these fan films is you're able to tiptoe into different, you know, genres and different venues and different, you know, stuff where normal Star Trek just would never go. You know, like I said, we've got our own corner of Star Trek that normal Star Trek won't touch. You know, Daniel Vance says Starfleet versus apes sounds like guerrilla warfare at its best. Bless your heart.
More apes, and yeah, because when you saw Razor's Edge, there was a little bit on it, okay, and I decided to expand on that. I said, man, when I saw Razor's Edge, I said, I want more. I want more action. So I wrote the script, and yeah, you're going to see a lot more that you didn't see in Razor's Edge. I said, man, because I said, I got to watch it, right? I got to edit. I got to watch it. So I say, I want more action. I want more story, more drama. I want more apes and conflict. I mean, these guys should really be at each other, you know? So, yeah. So in the kooky world of Planet of the Apes, you will see more, definitely more action in Fighting Chance that you haven't seen before. You will, dare I say it, we got to a point where we have to do our own stunts. I said, we have to do our own stunts. I mean, because I want to see some action. I want to see fighting on there, you know, so.
Well, that's one of the things when you're editing a film,
yeah,
you know, and you have to go through it. Like you're watching, like from the audience's perspective, you know, they see it once, you're like, oh my God, this is great. But as an editor, like you're sitting and watching the same footage like 100 times over, and it just gets monotonous. So like you have to make it exciting for yourself. Otherwise, you know, it's just like, here we go again, you know. So I certainly understand what you're talking about on make it exciting, you know. Yeah, imagine what's that?
No, I would say, yeah. So in Fighting Chance, we do our own stunts, of course, safely and all that, speed it up or slow it down. But we thought that, hey, man, you know, let's see some action. You know, by God, if people are going to sit down with popcorn and a cold drink, so you know, there will be action. It isn't, you know, just the captain in the captain's chair. Ramses. Okay, I'll just say one thing. Ramses does start fighting those apes. Pisses him off. So I say, hey, let's throw that in. We didn't do it on Razor's Edge, but that's one thing I wanted to. But lack of time. I mean, the film was what, 1 hour, 3? Because I wanted to keep putting stuff in Razor's Edge, and I said, Joe, stop it. Get the film up. Put that stuff that you wanted to do. Put it in a fighting chance. So yeah, say yeah, it's just like you, right? You come up with a bag of ideas, right? You say you can't put in it. It's just too much, right?
Right.
So the stuff
Right.
I couldn't put in Razor's Edge, we're putting in fighting chance. How's that? There you go.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, look forward to it, and everybody that I wish everyone a speedy recovery that's not quite up there, so that we can get more Star Trek Nature's Hunger, because honestly, it's one of the lightheartedness of Star Trek that I think we need. I love it. Every time there's a new one, I'm like, we got to have more of it. So I love it. Can't wait to have more. So with that being said, Joe, thank you for coming on, man.
And thank you for having me, and thank you for letting me participate in this world, of that you've created there.
Oh,
for letting me part of your sandbox.
Oh, absolutely, man. Dude. Honestly, man, I love your friendship, man. It means a great deal to me. And anytime we get to collaborate, whether it's me on your film or you on mine, it's like it's a pleasure, man. It's a two-way street, man. And that's these fan films. That's these fan films are not about we've got to have the biggest and the best, and it's always just about, no, I get to go make a film with my friend, and fuck the drama. It's about friendship, having fun.
Yep.
And I love it. I mean, your friendship means a great deal to me. So it's a two-way street, man. It's a two-way street. So
thank you, and kudos.
Absolutely. So with that being said, everybody in the chat, thank you for joining us. And everybody, be genuine, be safe, and keep on geeking on, guys.
All right.